A demolition order? $100,000 gone? And the possibility of Amy and Chris Roloff facing legal consequences they never saw coming? In the world of little people, big world, family dramas usually take center stage. But this time, the cameras may have caught something far more serious. Reports are swirling that Amy and Chris's recent property project has turned into a financial nightmare, with whispers of an official demolition order and a staggering $100,000 mistake that could change everything. Fans are stunned. Online forums are buzzing. How could such a costly oversight happen to one of TLC's most recognizable couples? Was it a simple miscalculation, or a decision that could put their reputations and possibly their finances on the line? Over the next hour, we'll unpack the full story, what happened, the chain of events that led to this expensive mess, and what it means for Amy and Chris's future, and even the Roloff family legacy. From behind-the-scenes tensions to the legal loopholes no one saw coming, this is one twist you won't want to miss. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For Roloff family latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. A stunning twist has rocked the Roloff world. Whispers of a demolition order looming over a project linked to Marek and Amy Roloff. The alleged cost? A jaw-dropping $100,000. Fans are in shock. Critics are circling like hawks, and the couple suddenly finds themselves caught in the middle of an unexpected storm. What began as a dream project, a symbol of fresh beginnings after Amy's first marriage, could now be facing the wrecking ball. As speculation spreads, the questions pile up. Was this the result of poor planning, a major oversight, or an expensive misunderstanding that could leave a lasting mark on their future? Over the next hour, we'll unravel the full story, from the first sketches and blueprints, to the moment the demolition threat surfaced, and finally, what it could mean for Amy, Chris, and the next chapter of their life together. This isn't your typical little people, big world storyline. This is real, high-stakes drama. When Amy Roloff and Chris Marek first revealed their newest venture, it was more than just another home improvement. It was a public declaration of their next chapter together. After years of farm drama, family disagreements, and public scrutiny, this $100,000 project was meant to be a fresh start. It wasn't simply about bricks, wood, and paint. It was about building something that symbolized stability, unity, and a shared dream. From the earliest sketches, fans were hooked. The space, rumored to be part rustic charm, part modern event hall, was envisioned as a place for intimate gatherings, community functions, and maybe even a little Roloff-style holiday magic. Amy spoke warmly about it in interviews, calling it a labor of love and hinting at future celebrations there. Chris, always more reserved, was visibly proud in the photos they posted, standing next to blueprints with an almost boyish grin. Excitement wasn't limited to their immediate fan base. Local papers ran cheerful features on the couple's big build, complete with renderings and artist impressions of how it would look when finished. Neighbors commented online about how it could boost the local scene, bringing small business opportunities and tourism. For a while, it seemed like nothing could go wrong. But then, the little red flags started waving. At first, they were barely noticeable. The couple missed a self-imposed deadline for a project update. A planned first look event for friends and family was quietly postponed. On Instagram, Amy began sprinkling her upbeat posts with cryptic remarks about learning patience and waiting on the green light. Behind the scenes, the buzz wasn't as celebratory. Contractors whispered about delays in supply deliveries, while others mentioned that some structural plans had to be redrawn after a last-minute inspection request. There were also murmurs about zoning, whether the property was actually cleared for the type of structure being built. This wasn't just a minor oversight. In rural Oregon, zoning regulations can make or break a project entirely. For longtime viewers of Little People, Big World, the situation began to feel eerily familiar. Fans remembered past big-ticket ventures on Roloff Farm that had faced legal hurdles, stalled halfway through construction, or ended up costing far more than expected. Comparisons were inevitable, and not in a flattering way. Still, Amy and Chris pushed ahead, at least in public. The couple posted smiling updates, shared short clips of the building process, and tried to keep spirits high. Yet, in the candid moments, the ones caught by fans in grocery stores or at local events, Chris's face seemed tighter, Amy's voice slightly more guarded. The shine of the project was wearing thin, replaced by the strain of a battle they didn't yet admit was happening. Then came the tipping point, the moment insiders claim officials stepped in with serious questions about the legality of certain construction steps. Paperwork delays had turned into outright warnings. And before long, whispers about a possible demolition order began to make their way into fan discussions, setting the stage for the storm that was about to break. It began like any other weekday morning, coffee brewing, a quiet breakfast, until a knock at the door broke the calm. In Chris's hands was an official-looking envelope, stamped with the emblem of the County Building Authority. At first glance, it looked like routine correspondence. But as he unfolded the pages, the color drained from his face. This wasn't routine. This was a demolition order. The notice listed specific infractions: unauthorized structural alterations, noncompliance with local zoning ordinances, and safety concerns that the inspector labeled immediate hazards. Even more alarming, it cited the risk of penalties if the order was ignored, fines that could climb into the tens of thousands. For Chris, the blow landed hard. With his real estate background, he prided himself on navigating property laws and regulations. To be accused of overlooking something so critical was not just embarrassing, it was professionally damaging. Amy, sitting across the table, could only stare at the words in disbelief. This was supposed to be their new chapter, their symbol of moving forward. Now, it felt like the whole thing was collapsing before it was even complete. By this stage, the couple had already poured approximately $100,000 into the project: materials, labor, custom design elements, permits they thought were sufficient. Now, with demolition on the table, that money was in jeopardy. Worse yet, if they fought the order and lost, legal fees could pile up on top of everything else. The county's timeline was tight: comply within 30 days, or face escalating penalties. Demolition itself wouldn't come cheap. Estimates suggested another $20,000 to $25,000 just to dismantle and dispose of the structure safely. If they chose to rebuild from scratch under approved plans, the cost could easily soar past $150,000 in total. Chris sat down one evening and tried to map it all out on paper: the losses, the penalties, the potential insurance claims. Even with his experience, the numbers were dizzying. Amy tried to keep the focus on hope, suggesting maybe the insurance policy could help. But policies have fine print, and no one knew yet if their situation would qualify for a payout. The emotional fallout. Financial strain was only part of the problem. Emotionally, this was a gut punch. Amy had been deeply invested in the vision for the project, whether it was meant to be a new event space, a shared hobby area, or something personal. Every nail, every tile, every little design choice had meaning. Now, all of that was under threat. The stress began to creep into their daily lives. Chris, usually level-headed and upbeat, was quieter, spending more time on the phone with contractors, lawyers, and local officials. Amy, on the other hand, found herself avoiding social media, wary of the inevitable flood of comments once news got out. The strain was visible even to close friends: short tempers, sleepless nights, and a cloud of uncertainty hanging over the household. The public weighs in. When the story finally surfaced online, the LPBW fanbase lit up with opinions. Some commenters rallied behind Amy and Chris, pointing out how complicated building codes can be, especially when multiple jurisdictions are involved. They argued that even the most diligent homeowners can stumble over technicalities. But the criticism was just as loud. A vocal group accused the couple of negligence, questioning how a seasoned real estate professional and a longtime public figure could make such rookie mistakes. A few even suggested the whole thing was a PR stunt, a way to generate attention for the upcoming season of Little People, Big World. The split in opinion reflected a bigger truth. In the public eye, especially for reality TV personalities, every misstep is amplified, analyzed, and sometimes weaponized. Silence and side comments. Interestingly, the rest of the Roloff family remained mostly silent. Matt, no stranger to construction projects, didn't offer a public statement, at least not directly. However, in a recent live stream, he casually mentioned the importance of following every single permit step when working on property upgrades, leading fans to wonder if it was a subtle reference to Amy and Chris's situation. Tori and Zach also kept quiet, though some fans speculated that they were offering private support. Jeremy and Audrey, often vocal on property and renovation topics, avoided mentioning it altogether. Whether out of respect, disinterest, or strategic silence, no one could say for sure. As the days passed, it became clear that Chris and Amy had two main options: comply and absorb the loss, or challenge the demolition order in court. Challenging it meant hiring legal representation, gathering expert opinions, and possibly entering a drawn-out process that could stretch for months. Compliance meant watching their $100,000 dream literally get torn apart. From a brand perspective, the risk was huge. If this played out publicly, it could tarnish their image as careful planners and responsible property owners. Potential business partners might think twice before investing in future ventures. Even speaking engagements or endorsement deals could be impacted if the story gained traction in mainstream media. Insurance was still a wild card. Some policies might cover losses due to enforced demolition if the owners can prove they acted in good faith and followed all known requirements. But proving good faith, in the eyes of both insurers and regulators, is rarely simple. In the meantime, the clock kept ticking. As the dust settles, both literally and figuratively, one of the biggest questions is whether Chris and Amy can bounce back from this $100,000 setback. Financially, the loss is undeniable. It's the kind of blow that would sting even the most well-prepared couple. Emotionally, the experience has tested their patience, their trust in each other's decisions, and their resilience in the public eye. For Amy, who's already navigated the highs and lows of public scrutiny for over a decade, this incident may serve as yet another reminder that life after reality TV fame comes with its own set of costly pitfalls. For Chris, it's a hard-earned lesson in just how quickly an exciting project can turn into a legal and financial quagmire. There are important lessons here, not just for the Roloffs, but for anyone watching. The importance of proper permitting, clear communication with contractors, and understanding local building codes might not be glamorous, but it can save you from heartbreak, public embarrassment, and the kind of losses we're seeing here. It's also a case study in how quickly public opinion can swing, from supportive cheerleading to sharp criticism, when a project goes sideways in full view of fans and critics alike. From a little people, big world perspective, the fallout could play heavily into upcoming episodes or even shape future storylines. TLC has never shied away from conflict and controversy, and this incident offers plenty of both. Will viewers see Amy and Chris trying to pick up the pieces? Will the network lean into the drama, or will the couple try to keep future ventures quieter to avoid more public mishaps? Either way, the situation has added another layer of complexity to the Roloff family narrative, ensuring that fans will be watching closely. As for their next move, speculation is already swirling. Some believe Chris and Amy may double down on smaller, more manageable projects to regain their footing. Others wonder if this could push them toward a more low-key lifestyle, stepping back from large-scale investments altogether. Of course, knowing Amy, she's unlikely to let one setback define her. If history is any guide, she'll dust herself off, learn what she can from the ordeal, and find a way to channel the experience into something productive, maybe even surprising everyone with a comeback project that works out far better than this one. In the end, this is more than just a $100,000 mistake. It's a turning point. How Chris and Amy choose to respond could redefine not only their public image, but also their personal and financial future. And in the unpredictable world of the Roloffs, one thing's for sure: this story is far from over. Whether this ends in a full demolition or a last-minute save, one thing is undeniable: Chris and Amy have been thrust into one of the most difficult trials of their life together after the farm. This $100,000 setback isn't just about dollars lost. It's about broken trust, strained planning, and the raw vulnerability of living every triumph and mistake under public scrutiny. Fans everywhere will be holding their breath to see whether they can turn this around, or if it becomes a defining and possibly damaging chapter in their journey. And for little people, big world, It's yet another stark reminder that beyond the scripted moments and polished edits, the stakes are real, the risks are high, and the fallout is deeply personal. Until the next chapter unfolds, we'll be watching.